Get your ears wrapped around the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast. All the scoop you need to know from college basketball to the NBA and even March Madness. News of your rising stars. Topics on and off the hardwood. This is the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast.
Salutations. Welcome to the GSMC Basketball Podcast with your host, Ryan Holloway. We are brought to you by adamandeve.com. For a limited time only, go to adamandeve.com. You'll get 50% off just about any item using promo code HOOP. How are you guys doing? Happy Friday. I'm not going to say that I am a fortune teller, but some stuff went down during the week that I kind of promised you was going to happen. Before I get into all that, let me just give you a rundown of the agenda. I'm going to tell you guys why Joel Embid is a living legend already. Yes, we're going to talk about the legend of Joel Embid. Basically, he's the new Lord of the Rings. He doesn't have any rings yet, but I'm going to crown him king. That's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about the return of CP3, the infamous. He's back, and James Harden scored 48 points just to welcome CP3 back to Houston. Also, I'm going to let you guys know why the Warriors are the mega buff dude in the gym that's just on the treadmill, and he's just unbothered by anyone else lifting weights around him. I'm going to tell you guys about all that. Anyhow, before I get into that, I need to remind you that last night, guess what dropped? The Justice League. Yep. Justice League at 12 a.m. I would have went to go see it, but I had to come do this for y'all, for the people, for the culture, for my GSMCers. So we here, and when I come back, I'm going to tell you guys about the Justice League on my movie podcast next week. On with the show. On Wednesday's show, I'll let you guys know the game of the night was we speak in definites here on the GSMC Basketball Podcast. I told you the game of the night was going to be the Sixers and the Lakers. Why did I say that? Because we're going to showcase some young talent. Joel Embid has been balling, and if you want to be seen, you got to go play in L.A. right now. That's the best place to go play. Why? Not because it's L.A., not because Kobe used to be there, not because Shaq, Magic, Kareem, James Worthy. Jeez, all these people, they have so many players. All right. Not that those are different eras. Anyway, that's not why you go to LA. Not because they make movies there. None of those reasons are why you go to LA. Not because it's warm there. None of those reasons. The reason you go to LA to go play is because the world is forever on Lonzo Ball watch. So regardless of what Lonzo Ball does, if you're in LA, you're going to get seen, period. So I'll let you guys know that Wednesday night is going to be the night to watch the Philadelphia 76ers showcase their magic, and then we would all believe in the process. But I cannot tell you that I predicted what Joel Embid was going to do. I can't tell you that I did. I thought he would just show up, do a couple moves, back down Julius Randle a little bit, maybe get 25. Maybe. That was my impression. Joel Embid had 46, 15, 7, and 7. He had 46 buckets, 15 rebounds, 7 dimes, and 7 blocks. 7 blocks? Like, bro, you know what? I think they should probably just count blocks as like 1.5. They should count blocks as like 0.5 points because it's demoralizing to the team, and it's an incredible stat to have. Now, I'm not going to tell you that he almost had a triple double. I'm not going to tell you he almost had a quadruple double. But what I will say is that these numbers aren't that far off of quadruple double numbers. The cool part about this game, when I was watching the game, I took a little break for a minute, then I had to come back. When I got back in the game, I was like, oh, this game is close. It's coming down the wire. We may have a buzzer beater. This is a dope showcase of young talent. Turns out, guess who ain't playing? Lonzo Ball is not even on the court. So, Big Baller Brand, when one of the players, one of the, I guess, representatives of Big Baller Brand is getting more pub in China because of his shopping techniques, then the face of the brand in LA, we may have a problem. I can't go out and pay $500 for shoes if the endorsee isn't even playing. It's one thing to have me buying shoes because someone got drafted and they're kind of popular. I'll do that. That's fine. You don't have to necessarily be proven for me to buy your shoes. A whole bunch of people bought 50 Cent's G-Unit shoe. Now what? People bought that? So I'd buy some Lonzo Ball shoes, but he's not even playing. So you can't just not play the fourth quarter and then call that big baller. I'm going to pass. Back to Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid, here's something that's incredibly outstanding about Joel Embiid. He's the center that we all been waiting for. A lot of us have wanted to see that dominant center down in the middle that has the coldest footwork, the Hakeem Olajuwon with Michael Jackson shoes on. We've been waiting to see that. We haven't though. I think the last person to have genuinely outstanding footwork will probably be Tim Duncan. Prior to Tim Duncan, we're going to say Hakeem Olajuwon. If you guys can name someone in between Tim Duncan and in between now that had cold footwork down low, please let me know. Please. And don't just throw out a random name of somebody that's big, because I'll tell you whether or not they have footwork. So his footwork is cold. The night when he had this 46 points, he went 2 for 3 from the 3-point line. So he was splashing too. He wasn't just in the middle, just living his life. He runs up and down the court. He gets at it like it's no problem at all. He loves to play. During the summer, they put him on the minute. During the summer, they decided they're going to put him on a minute restriction. Like, yo, we can't have you playing that many minutes because we feel like you're made of styrofoam and popsicle sticks. So we can't have you out here all willy-nilly getting almost hurt. Joel Embid texting back an unhappy emoji. And now he's balling. So they basically trust him now because he trusted in the process. He's also a player that's been there for a while that decided to trust in the process. Not really that he had a choice, but they're going to pay him. They just gave him an extension the other day. So he doesn't mind. He's chilling. He's okay with it. Philly is back. I told you guys a couple days ago that they're the future of the NBA. And I know there's been this thing because Steve Kerr said the Celtics are the future. But nah, I don't think so. I think Philly, I know Philly's the future of the NBA. And I'm going to go ahead and say I'm a fan of this whole trust the process thing because people only remember the winners anyway. You know? So when they do the whole halftime report on the struggles of the 76ers like 3 years from now when they're in the championship, no one cares about the losing seasons. Nobody cares about that. If you win, it's fine. It's just fine. Just like the Patriots. Do you guys remember them before they had Tom Brady and Drew Bledsoe? They were terrible. They were really, really bad. So, I mean, eventually the Bulls will be good again. No one's going to remember the last 20 years. And it's fine. That's where we're at with this. So, bless up to the Sixers. Also, Joel Embiid has incredible charisma. So he wants to play, right? He wants to play and he likes talking to people. He gets on social media and destroys other players. And we like that. And we like that for the NBA. We like how players are allowed to be themselves versus other sports where, you know, you got to wear a mask. They just permitted you to dance over in NFL. They just said you can dance just recently. It's cool now to dance. They play all types of hip hop music and music with rhythm, but they just permitted dancing. Congratulations, NFL. People get to dance. Anyway, back in the NBA. Joel Embid played one game against the Miami Heat, and he called their small forward after the game cooked barbecue chicken. Why? Because that's what it's called when you have a competitive advantage against somebody and give them buckets. He called them barbecue chicken. So he's on social media getting it in. So he's a social media savage. He posts incredible memes. He hollers at Rihanna. During interviews, he says funny things. And this is what we like. Why? Because regardless of whether or not players feel like talking to the media and giving us that little insight on the game, we still want to hear what they have to say. Now, if you do it really smooth in a way where you don't want to talk to people, but you have like cool nice little clever one-liners and you're good. You're good. You got some cool, clever one-liners and you're okay. Now, if you go up there and just have nothing to say, that's fine too. Don't force someone that doesn't want to answer questions because we're all uncomfortable and it looks like you're pulling teeth. I don't like it. Makes for a bad experience for the viewer and for the player. However, when you have somebody that has a little joke here or there, has funny things to say, is all in the crowd like they can't guard me, that's entertaining. He's a prototypical new wave center. This is what we want. He can shoot, he can dribble, he's blocking shots. When shots get blocked, it's probably the only defensive effort that everyone can collectively appreciate. It's the only thing we all collectively appreciate. Some of us, when you see somebody take a charge, man, why are you taking a charge? Some of us, we see somebody make a hard foul. Why are you making a hard foul? Someone gets a steal. Why are you reaching? And a lot of times steals don't really look that clean because it's kind of someone just losing the ball. It's not like a cookie steal where someone crosses over and they get that back poke and the ball rolls. It's like, oh, I got to get this. Oh, layup. It doesn't happen that cleanly all the time. So it's not, we don't think that's that impressive. But a block, when someone thinks they're going to shoot the ball, they don't even get a chance for the ball to go towards the hoop. It gets sent in a complete opposite direction. So he's blocking shots. He's balling. And we like watching him play. I don't know how they say he's 7 foot 250 because when I saw him playing, he doesn't look like the 7-footer that we're used to seeing. Because with the 7-footers that we see like often now, they're not built like Joel Embid. They built a little bit different. And they don't move like him either. So I'm going to say that I'm genuinely impressed with him. Also, this is the most underrated thing. This is so underrated. When you go play in LA, when you go play a game in LA, as far as like the players go, if you look at the stats for road teams that go to LA and how they play when they get there, I'm not going to say if it's correlation or causation, but LA does something to you. A couple nights in LA will definitely do something to you. And these dudes showed up and got it in. And don't even get me started on Ben Simmons. He's a 6'10" point guard that's dropping off the rock. If I was LeBron right now, I would be low key ecstatic that my retirement is coming up. Well, not retirement, but his farewell tour, because these other guys, these 6'10" point guards and 7 foot. I don't even have a cool word to say. Like these 7 foot extraterrestrials, Joel Embid and Giannis and Porzingis. And they're all in the East. If I was LeBron, I'd be trying to escape the East too. I might go to the Warriors if I'm LeBron. I'm not gonna go to LA and deal with that Lonzo Ball fiasco. I want no parts of that if I'm LeBron. However, I'm going to say that we've reached the odd place, not even an odd place, a great place in basketball when players are making LeBron look small, because LeBron is 6'8". We're saying LeBron 6'8", I believe. I think that's what we're saying. So we pick and choose how tall people are depending on what we're saying. Sometimes Durant's 6'11", sometimes he's 7 foot. We just pick whatever happens. It just depends on the narrative, right? I'm going to say for this narrative that LeBron is 6'8". I believe he's 6'8" because he's 1 inch taller than Kobe, I think. I digress. LeBron 6'8", and these other guys are 7 foot. So that's a good 4 inches, and they have incredibly long arms. Giannis has arms. If Giannis opened up his arms, he would look like a 747. That's how big his arms are. He doesn't have a wingspan. When they measure Giannis's wingspan, they're not talking about birds. They mean planes. That's what they mean by wings when they talk about Giannis. And Joel Embiid's wingspan is so long that when he reaches out to the right and then reaches out to the left, his arms that go around the world and then his middle fingers touch. So their arms are mega long. So if I'm LeBron, I'm kind of like, yeah, you guys can, you guys can kind of have this NBA because me going to other teams and just taking them to the finals while these guys over here are dunking the ball without jumping, I'm probably going to just have to go ahead and let you guys run with this. I'm going to go to LA, take some pictures, live my life, or I may go to the Warriors and go chill with Curry. I don't know. Either way, what y'all doing over here on this East, I want no parts of that. So If you guys didn't get to see that game, then I'm sorry, but there's probably going to be some highlights for it this weekend when they do the plays of the week, because ESPN is going to be cracking with the plays from this week. But I'm going to come back. I got to go take care of some things. You guys hang tight. When I get back, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this game. I'm also going to ask you guys what we're going to do about the Lonzo Ball situation. I'm going to be right back. Are you looking to spice things up in the bedroom? Been fantasizing about surprising your lover with an adventurous new toy or adult movie? Well, here's an offer you won't be able to resist. Go to adamandeve.com, and for a limited time only, you'll get 50% off just about any item. But that's not all. When you select your one item at 50% off, you'll also receive 3 free adult DVDs for a little inspiration, plus a free extra gift. So sensual, we can't mention it on the podcast. And to top it all off, they'll even throw in free shipping on your entire order. And no, they're not kidding. So check out adamandeve.com today for this special offer. Get 50% off one item when you type HOOP for the offer code upon checkout. When you do, you'll get 3 free DVDs, a free extra gift, and free shipping. Just use offer code HOOP at adamandeve.com. That's offer code HOOP at adamandeve.com.
Are you looking for the very best NFL and college football podcast? Then check out the GSMC Football Podcast. Get the latest football news both on and off the field. From the NFL Draft to trades to the rumor mill to the NFL Combines, they got you covered. That's GSMCpodcast.com/football-podcast. Get updates on college rivalries, game day insights, and much, much more. It's football talk the way you want it. This show eats, sleeps, and breathes football. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
Welcome back to the GSMC Basketball Podcast with your host, Ryan Holloway. Thank you guys for hanging out. We appreciate that. I was just telling you guys about how Joel Embid is already a legend, and if you didn't see the game on Wednesday night, then you were slipping. I told you that was going to be the game of the night. So if you didn't watch it, you chose to watch something else, then I'm not going to say I'm disappointed in you. I'm just going to say that you're probably not my most favorite person right now. But if you're listening to this, you are my favorite person right now. So I forgive you. Either way, while Joel Embid was putting on a legendary night with his 46, 15, 7, and 7, no, those aren't lottery numbers, and that's not somebody's locker code from 12th grade. Those are real numbers. Those are real numbers. He did this. The Lakers took an L that night. Of course they did, because Joel Embid gave him that L. Get it? Joe L? No? You don't follow? All right, fine. Not a good joke. So they took that L last night. Not last night. I apologize. I got lost. They took the L on Wednesday night. That's when the game was. Philadelphia beat them 115-109. And for that game, in crunch time, Lonzo Ball didn't play. So when it got down to the nitty gritty of it all, he didn't play in the last quarter of the game. So I'm not 100% sure what they're going to do about this. Magic Johnson said that since he's been shooting this way all his life, they're not going to change his shot now during the season, because it's probably not the best idea to go ahead and change his shot right now. So they're going to go and let him shoot like this during the season and see if it improves. If it does not improve, then they said they're going to have a little talk with him during the summer. Like, hey man, I need you to come in this gym and shoot 20,000 like this. Actually, Magic said they want to find out why he's shooting like this. So they want to. It's interesting he said that because they want to like get in his head and find out what's going on with his head as far as shooting. Speaking of shooting, that's not a good segue. Speaking of someone that shoots and we don't mind when they miss, Steph Curry. Last night, Steph had 9 points against the Celtics. The Warriors lost to the Celtics. In case you didn't know this, you probably didn't know because it's not a big deal. So this is the Celtics' 14th straight win since they went 0-2. They're the first team in NBA history winning 14 straight games after starting off 0-2. And they added the Warriors to that list of games. But this is one of those situations where it's a lose-lose. It's like the Knicks and the Cavs the other day. If the Knicks would have beat the Cavs, people would say, well, you know, the Cavs don't have their whole squad. No. And if they lose the Cavs, like, same old Knicks losing in crunch time to the Cavs, but you get a moral victory out of it. So if you lose, you get a moral victory, but if you win, you get a real victory, but nobody cares. This is kind of what happened with this situation. Celtics going in after Steve Kerr kind of hedged this bet a week ago and was like, yeah, you know, they're the future of the NBA right now. They're looking really, really good. Kyrie is outstanding. He's fantastic. They're amazing. They got a really good squad over there. Their coach, he's brilliant. He's one of the best. He's brilliant. He's one of the best in the game, which is cool. He complimented Brad Stevens, kind of hedges bets, basically saying like, hey, you know what? If the Celtics come in here and let us have it next week, don't worry. Everything is going to be fine. The Warriors took an L last night to the Celtics. And apparently, Steph Curry got lightweight locked up by Jaylen Brown. But with Steph, it's challenging to say whether or not he got locked up because sometimes he's just not shooting well. And as a shooter, him, Klay Thompson, Ray Allen are three of the most unbothered people I've ever seen. Even I don't want to say Kobe because Kobe wasn't that great of a 3-point shooter, but his demeanor, they're unbothered by misses. So Steph would never say, yeah, I got locked up and it's not falling. I feel bad for myself. Where's a cliff? I'm going to jump off right now. I can't live with this. No. Steph isn't like that. Steph is just going to keep shooting the ball. And so I'm not going to sit here and say he got locked up partially because I'm biased, and that's okay. I'm going to say Steph just wasn't shooting the ball well because, he wasn't. I don't believe Steph Curry is someone that has a problem getting open. I'm also going to say that Steph went 3 for 14. He had 9 points. I'm going to say this was kind of just a warm-up game for them, which I don't necessarily mind. As a Warrior fan, again, I don't need you to go doing the 73-9 thing. And I saw 73-9. It was cool. It was all right. It was cute, but you didn't get a championship. So if you guys are going to do the Spurs Tim Duncan thing where you just coast in the finals again, I'm fine. Y'all are on cruise control. You guys know who the Warriors are? I'm going to tell you who the Warriors are. The Warriors are like Kai Green. You know who Kai Green is? I'm going to tell you who Kai Green is. Kai Green is the buffest dude in the world. If you haven't seen him, check him out. Buff guy, super mega strong guy, power lifter, all that. Like he can lift a house. He's also on Stranger Things. The Warriors are like Kai Green. I'm going to tell you why the Warriors are like Kai Green. The Warriors are like Kai Green because the Warriors are this monstrous, buff, huge guy, right? And he walks into the gym, and while everyone's lifting elephants, doing power sprints, squats, box jumps, CrossFit, everything, the buff dude is just on a treadmill, super unbothered, just walking with his headphones on, just walking, super mega unbothered. And then when it's game time, he takes off his shirt. He's the buffest guy in the world. That's who the Warriors are right now. They're not even going to flex on y'all. The Warriors don't want no flexing. They're just going to chill because there's no point in trying to win every single game and getting all kinds of injured just for SportsCenter highlights. It's not worth it. They don't want any parts of that. So I respect it. I genuinely respect it. And if you want another example, fine. The Warriors are that fantastic looking, beautiful woman that walks into the nightclub and she's just wearing some jeans and a hooded sweater and some Adidas shell toes. And she's gorgeous. Why? She's not even trying. She's just there. I know because I used to work in a nightclub. I was security. And a lot of times the most epic looking women were the one that were dressed down. Why are you going to be all out willy-nilly wearing an itty-bitty skirt and it's raining outside? For dudes, nah, dress for yourself. That's a little bit of self-esteem advice for y'all. Anyway, that's what the Warriors are. They're very, very unbothered. Actually, I don't like saying the word very. I'm going to take that back. They are genuinely unbothered. And prior to them losing to the Celtics, like the other night, the Warriors were on a 7-win streak where they had beat every team by an average of 18 points. Now, that's not news. Why? Because they're raw. And we don't really care about teams that don't really have any real drama going on. That's kind of where we're at right now. When the Heat were slapping everybody, when they were slapping everybody and their record was fantastically outstanding, when they were slapping everybody, we cared because it was Miami. They hadn't been good in a while, and they just lost to the Mavs, and LeBron's there. Wherever LeBron's at, it's a big deal. So when they were really good, it was a big deal. The Warriors being good, it's not really news, and it's on the West. No one cares about you if you're in the West unless you play in LA. Similar to when the Kings were good, nobody really cared until the playoffs. Even people in California were like, nah, they not real. They're not real. One thing that frustrates me about the Kings, not even frustrates me. One thing that makes me appreciate the 76ers trust the process hype is that, I mean, that's the draft is designed for the worst team to get picks. So you go to the lottery, you get good picks. The Sixers may make the playoffs this year. They haven't made the playoffs it's been, I want to say probably 7 or 8 years. Back in the day, I believe they had Lou Williams. They were pretty good. This was about 7 or 8 years. So they haven't been bad that long. And then they got bad. They got like really, really bad for a while. And now they're going to make the playoffs probably. Versus the Kings, they haven't been good since, I want to say, 2004. So it's been 13 years. So, I mean, you can continue to trust the process of trying your hardest to win and make these picks and clear salary space and attempt to make these dope draft picks and all that. But the Sixers are like, we're just going to lose these games until we can get enough players to be competitive. Also, a brilliant thing about them was they also did this thing where they figured they wanted to wait for LeBron to just be done. Like, why are we going to try to go hard against LeBron? We'll just wait. We'll draft him by the time LeBron quits. We'll be good. So I kind of got off topic a little bit. We was talking about California teams, and I got onto the Kings and the Sixers. My apologies. I'm just really excited about Joel Embid. Back to the Dubs. When it comes to the Dubs situation, it's okay. Why? Because this is why they got Kevin Durant, and this is why they have Klay Thompson. Because if Steph Curry plays bad, then Kevin Durant can step it up. Kevin Durant had 24, and they still lost, and that's fine because they move the ball around. Sometimes one player is hitting, sometimes another player is not. If you look at the stat board, it does look like the Warriors were kind of lazy. I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know if it was a calls thing, but the Celtics shot 20 more free throws than the Warriors, 20 more. Now, Kyrie is an artist at getting to the cup. Kyrie's like a smaller version of James Harden when it comes to getting to the cup. It's magical. It's amazing. So they shot 20 more free throws than them, and the Warriors only shot 30% from the three, which is like probably good for like a regular person, but for the Warriors, 30% from three, that doesn't even sound right. It doesn't even sound Warrior like. So they didn't shoot the ball very well, and the Celtics were attacking the cup. And Jaylen Brown, that man guarding Steph Curry, had 21 points. I didn't even know he was capable of getting 21 points. So everything collectively, after the Warriors got them winning 7 straight games by an average of 18 points, they ended up losing to the Celtics by 4. It happens. It happens. You can't be great every day. You can be great most of the time, though. I feel like I just made that quote up. If you want to keep that, you can have that. I won't charge any fees for it. It's fine. When I come back, I'm going to tell you guys about why the Houston Rockets are something to be concerned about in the West. Again, when I say again, I don't mean like something happened to them and you guys shouldn't have been concerned about them because they haven't been bad without CP3. Like, it hasn't been a problem. But with CP3 coming back, which I thought was going to be not an issue. But I thought there'd be like some growing pains when them come back into the rotation. No, not at all. James Harden scored 48 points and said, that's what we're going to do. The Rockets are 12-4 right now. CP3 came back. James Harden's like, okay, I'm going to score 48. That's what we're going to do. Everything's going to be fine. I am excited about the Rockets. And when I get back, I'm going to tell you a little bit more why.
Check out the show that's built on the MMA. From the UFC to extreme cage fighting, they got the fights covered. Check out the GSMC MMA podcast. Get the latest news on past or upcoming fights. Join us as we talk to and about some of the biggest names in the MMA, past, present, and future. When it's the fight game, there's just one show to check out. GSMCpodcast.com/MMA-podcast. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
Welcome back to the GSMC Basketball Podcast with your host, Ryan Holloway. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me as always. If you didn't hear the last segment, I was just telling you about how the Warriors losing to the Celtics doesn't mean anything because the Warriors have lost. They've won prior to losing to the Celtics. They won 7 straight games by an average of 18 points. So they're unbothered. They may be a little bit tired. Steph Curry was wearing a blindfold last night. He wasn't really tripping. Kyrie Irving didn't play that well either. It's fine because there's other things going on in the West. In case you guys don't want to pay attention to the Warriors, because the Warriors are like they're kind of like the championship Spurs, where since there's no drama going on and there's nothing to talk about, you don't really want to follow how good they are. You know, so we only want to hear about when the really, really great teams are in first place and because they have the drama. Like for example, the Heat when they were really good, not because they had drama, because they have LeBron. So just solely based on that, if teams don't have drama, we don't want to hear about it. Just like the Celtics, they're 14-2. We want to hear about it. Why? Because we got Kyrie and the drama of Kyrie. Let me tell you about another first place team that we're not talking about that's in the West. Guess who's in first place in the West? Just guess. I guess. You can't, can you? Nope. It would be, and actually because the West standings are kind of weird right now, it would probably be kind of hard to guess. But it's the Rockets. They're 12-4. And with the return of CP3 last night, they went ahead and smacked the Suns by a smooth 30. Well, not 30. It was 26, but I'm going to say 30 because it just sounds better than 26. And if you lose by 26, I'm going to say you lost by 30. That's just how it is. If you owe me $26, you should just give me 30 because for whatever reason I had to loan you $26, whatever inconvenience that number costs, you should just give me 30. Anyway, James Harden went ahead and had 48. I was thinking it'd be a situation like with the OKC situation where one person has the ball too much and the other people can't really get their score on. But CP3 coming back couldn't wait to have a prolific score. If I take a look at CP3's rosters in the past, with him being on New Orleans and being on the Clippers, I'm going to say he's never had someone on his squad that averaged 30. I'm racking my brain trying to think if he's ever had anyone that averaged 30. Most of the time, he's in a situation where you got to put the whole team on his back, which he doesn't necessarily mind. He's a general point guard. That's what he does. Puts the team on his back, makes it feel better. So, can you imagine him playing with somebody that loves to get buckets and can shoot and can get to the cup and doesn't mind passing the ball? And James Harden had 48 with 7 assists. So sometimes when you see a number like 48, you're not going to see an assist number as high as 7. You're not. It doesn't happen that often because when you have 48 buckets, you got that young tunnel vision and they're just feeding you and feeding you and feeding you, and that's just what they're going to do. But it seems like James Harden found time to go ahead and swing the rock, which I can appreciate. What I am most excited about in these playoffs that are coming, that I've been talking about, that I'm raving about, that I cannot wait for, because these are going to be the best NBA playoffs ever. I don't know about ever, but they're going to be up there, because I don't really know who's going to win the championship. I feel like the Warriors can still do it. I want them to do it, but with them just being the ultra buff guy at the gym, just chilling on the treadmill, not really hitting the weights, he might pull a muscle pulling his car out of the parking lot. So who knows? That's the best analogy that I have for the Warriors just chilling, being lackluster right now. I know I spent a long time telling you not to worry about their lacklusterness, but I need this for this narrative right now. So I don't know who's going to come out of the West. I don't know who's going to come out of the East. All the teams, let's see, all the teams we thought would be kind of mediocre, or there's a better way to say that. The teams that we didn't expect to be entertaining are entertaining, and the teams that we expect to be entertaining are still entertaining. So we've got a good collection of ball. We've got more good teams than bad teams is what I'm saying. That's what I mean by it. We've got more good teams than bad teams. The Rockets are in first place. What I was really excited to see was the Rockets play OKC in the playoffs this year, because even though the Rockets beat OKC in the playoffs last year, and OKC is in ninth, so I don't really know if they're going to make it. But even though the Rockets beat them last year, I think James Harden still feels away, and he might be kind of sodium, kind of salty, because he didn't get MVP. And now that OKC has Carmelo and Paul George, and they're having struggles right now, I think that Russell Westbrook was like, look, I got these guys. What's up? I can't wait to see you, James Harden. What's going down? Then James Harden was like, all right, well, I'm going to get CP3. And then when they play each other, the Rockets are going to sweep OKC. And it's going to be, but they're going to be solid games though. Seeing that much star power within one place, it's going to be something that I'm really going to like. That's if OKC makes it. I'm not one to say that someone's bad luck, or let's see, a cloud that isn't the brightest cloud. I'm just going to say that this isn't the outcome that Oklahoma City was hoping for when they got Carmelo. As they're in ninth place. And the Knicks are doing better without him. And no matter how much we want to not we, because I don't think it's his fault. No matter how many tomatoes people choose to throw at Phil Jackson, I'm going to say that with Phil Jackson drafting Porzingis and saying we need to get rid of Carmelo, we can't win with him, and then drafting Frank from France and the Knicks being the playoff Knicks right now, and them still having the same coach that Phil Jackson hired, Phil Jackson's draft picks and his moves that he wanted to make are a positive effect on the Knicks. But we're not going to give him any credit. We're just going to say that we got rid of him because he was a problem. And for anyone that ever diss Melo, it's a problem for New York. But when they got rid of Phil Jackson, they ended up trading Melo anyway because Melo didn't want to be there anymore. So I'm hoping that OKC turns it around, because I do want to see them in the playoffs, and I think it'd be pretty ironic if Paul George left the playoff team to come in the West and then didn't make the playoffs, and then Carmelo came from a team that wasn't in the playoffs, and then he got on a team that was in the playoffs, and then they didn't make the playoffs, but the team he was on did make the playoffs. So it's one of those things where, you know, like if you have a whole bunch of friends and you complain about all your friends, all of them, you have like 15 friends, you complain about all of them, you might want to take just a look in the mirror and then reevaluate what you're doing, because there's a possibility that you might have some type of effect on that. With that, I'm going to say I hope OKC makes it, because if they do, then we'll just have more stars in the playoffs. And if they don't, hopefully a random team can sneak in. If they don't make it, because I do want to see them play, if they don't make it, then I hope a random squad could sneak in. A random squad that would sneak in would be the Lakers. Never mind. If OKC doesn't make it, the squad that will probably take their place if we had to start the playoffs right now, as far as teams that made it in and haven't made it in a couple years, well, not a couple years, but multiple years, would be the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Minnesota Timberwolves are in fourth place, in case you guys didn't know. So the Rockets and the Harden crew are appreciating the return of CP3, and they're in first. Meanwhile, the Warriors are in second. You think the Warriors are concerned about the Rockets? Lightweight, I think so. The reason I do think that is because I would think that the Warriors were thinking, hey, you know what? We crushed the Clippers. We don't got to worry about the Clippers anymore. They're silly. No worries. Silly Clippers. They're not a problem anymore. The Clippers used to be a rival of the Warriors. For those of you that haven't watched basketball, probably I'm gonna say, I don't know. Well, for those of you that were watching basketball a couple years ago, but then stopped for a couple years and just started watching it again now, the Clippers were a hurdle in the Warriors' way to make it to the playoffs a while ago, and they used to have these epic battles, and then the Clippers weren't good anymore, and the Warriors got great, and once the Warriors became great, then the Clippers couldn't stop them. Now CP3 was like, yo, I can't play here anymore because the Warriors come to LA and they kick us in the face. I'm going to go somewhere else where we can smash on the Warriors. So CP3 has taken this aggression towards the Warriors to a different team in the East. To a different team in the West so he can play against the Warriors. We're going to have the Western Conference Finals if it is going to be the Rockets versus the Warriors with CP3, James Harden, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, and the infamous Draymond Green. It's going to be great. So I think that CP3, his whole plan as far as going to the Rockets was just to get revenge. And I look forward to it. I feel like he had to leave the Clippers. Like I told you guys. I told y'all about my review of Thor Ragnarok, and Thor felt like he had to leave his planet and leave his pops. And CP3 isn't the son of Doc Rivers, but he had mad love in LA. He had mad love there. But eventually came a time where he had to go. They offered him $300 trillion to stay, but he was like, you know what? This just isn't for me, guys. This just isn't for me. So he went somewhere else. And we were concerned about him having the ball too much. We're concerned about James Harden being in the corner, jumping up and down, just jumping up and down, waving his arms like, hey, pass me the ball. Give me the ball. Hey. But no, CP3 had 10 assists. James Harden has 7 assists. And he had 48 points. So I'm not going to say that I'm concerned about the Rockets. I'm not even going to say that I'm scared of the Rockets. As a Warrior fan, I'm not going to say I'm concerned about the Rockets or scared. I'm just going to say that if before the trade deadline in February, if the Rockets decided to trade CP3 and James Harden to the Celtics for some picks, because you know Danny Ainge loves to get picks, if the Rockets decided to just randomly trade them before February, I wouldn't be mad. You know, maybe if the Rockets want to say, hey, you guys should go be successful somewhere else, maybe they could do that. I'm not saying as a Warrior fan I'm scared. I'm just looking out for these young brothers' options. So if they choose to go somewhere and randomly be successful before the playoffs start on the East, that'd be cool. Or maybe they go to China and borrow some things from some stores without giving it back on time, and it's considered stealing, so they have to stay over there and miss the playoffs. That was a great segue. When I get back, I'm going to give you guys a wrap up on the UCLA shoplifting Chinese sunglasses scandal. It's a scandal. We're going to call it a scandal because it's international and it's worldwide and it's been fixed. But I may have misspoke the last time I talked to you guys about it because some new information has come that has it might have kind of changed my mind a little bit on the way I feel about it. I'm also gonna give you guys another pick for this weekend or maybe the night. I'm not sure yet. If you didn't take advantage of my last pick on Wednesday, you messed up. You missed out on a lucrative investment opportunity. I told you guys to take the Knicks -5 at the Jazz. Actually, it was Knicks -4 at the Jazz. And what the Knicks do? Knicks won by 6. So for those of you guys that took it, congratulations. For those of you guys that didn't, there will be another opportunity to double your money this weekend. I'm going to take a quick break, and when I come back, I'm going to bless your ears with more of the GSMC Basketball Podcast with your host, Ryan Holloway.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to the GSMC Basketball Podcast with your host, Ryan Holloway. In case you guys missed out, which of course you didn't, because you listen to all my segments, right? Of course you do. In case you guys missed out, I was telling you about how the Rockets are, I'm going to say, intimidating the West, and no one's paying attention. CP3 came back, and James Harden decided to have 48 to welcome him back to the block. So congratulations to the Rockets. I decided I'm going to give you guys an update on the LiAngelo Ball Chinese sunglasses fiasco. And alter my opinion as to what I told you guys on Wednesday, because now I have more information. I was under the impression that they went to a store and then they took some sunglasses. They went back to the hotel room, and then, they were a little frightened and scared, and then they got like interrogated, and somebody snitched, and it was just this like accidental type of thing. And then UCLA was like, hey, we don't know what we're going to do yet. We got to figure this thing out. Whoop-de-wop, blah, blah, blah. Turns out, well, first of all, LiAngelo Ball went ahead and submitted an apology, which, whenever we do something wrong in life, we apologize and we show remorse and we are regretful. And that's what's most important, right? I'm not one to judge anyone's apology. Like, say sorry. No, say apologize. I don't like hearing sorry. Hey, you got to cry when you apologize. I don't like the cut of your jib while you're apologizing. I'm not one of those people. You apologize, you apologize. That's what it's about, right? So during his apology, he said he's sorry for stealing from the stores in China. I didn't know there were multiple stores. According to reports now, it was 3 stores. So this wasn't a Jameis Winston crab leg situation where he went in there, picked up some crab legs and was like, hey, I usually do this. I don't know you, but I usually do this, so it's good, right? And then walks out with the crab legs, and it's a problem. Okay, so I'm not a professional on stealery, but when you go to multiple stores and steal, that's not really an accident. That's not like, oops, oh my God, we walked out with these, or, oh, hey, I'll come back and pay for this one thing, or, oh, hey, my dad right now, he's with my little brother and they're in a Ferrari, like we have money, I promise. When they get here to buy him a Gucci bag, they'll pay for the glasses, no doubt. I'm a star, don't worry about it, they'd be cool. Nah, they went to multiple stores and were stealing things. Now, I thought that if they took one thing, some people go to different countries, they don't really know how things work, especially if you're young. When people aren't like 25 plus, I'll call them 12. He's not 12, I'm going to call him 12. When you're 12 and you go somewhere and you don't really know how things work, there's a possibility you may act in a way that isn't supposed to be, let's say, accepted in an area. We'll say acceptable in that area. Because you don't know. You've never been there, right? So I was thinking, don't punish him. They're already embarrassed enough. This happened one time. Like, it's not a big deal. He made a mistake. No problem. Let the kids play. But they went to multiple stores taking stuff. Now, if you don't know that you can't go. Now, first of all, you shouldn't be stealing at all, right? But going to one store and taking something, it can be excused. And there's like a way out of talking about that, whereas it can be accepted as like a mistake, incorrect judgment. Bad judgment. But when you go to multiple stores and steal stuff in a different country, there's a possibility that you may have an entitlement issue. I'm not talking about him per se. I just mean anybody. If you go to another country or somewhere you've never been before and start just wilding out, doing things that you wouldn't do at home, you might be doing things that you're probably doing at home. So I'm not saying he did this at home. What I mean is I had a friend and we went to Mexico once. We went to Tijuana, because that's the best place in the world to go, right? And then he did some stuff there, and the cops ran up and did their, Tijuana thing, like, yo, break yourself, da-da-da-da-da. And he was like, oh, man, I didn't know I couldn't do that. And I was like, well, would you do that at home? He was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that says a lot about your character. That deserved to happen to you. So I got it, right? But in this situation, UCLA is like, as of right now, they're suspended indefinitely. And we're going to decide punishments once we decide what's recommended, and we're going to evaluate the situation to find out what we should really do. UCLA saying this, they don't want to give out a harsh punishment yet, just because they're not sure. They don't really know everything either. I don't know if there was a translator over there. I don't know if the UCLA coaches are fluent in Mandarin. I have no idea. I couldn't tell you for sure. But as of right now, they can't travel with the team. They can't work out with the team. They can't go to team meetings, which I believe that's not really a punishment, because if you've ever been suspended for anything or kicked out or whatever, and not like fired, but if you've ever been on the suspension or on like pause from whatever you have to do, if you don't have to go to the meetings or anything and you're already a starter, what difference does it make? Because when you're on the team, you already don't want to go to those meetings, honestly. So it's like, oh, I don't got to go to meetings? Oh, I don't got to travel with y'all? If I can't play anyway, why even go? You know how you punish them? I'm going to tell you how. You make them travel and make them go to meetings even though they're not playing. Because then it's like, oh man, I can't even play. I'm just here. I'm just here. Coach, can I start? No, but you got to work out. Go get those bags. So wait, you telling me that I can't play this week, but I got to be here in this meeting talking about plays for next week? Yeah, you have to be here. Oh, that's how you punish somebody. Because saying, hey, you can't be around anymore while I'm about to get drafted to the NBA, that's cool. I'm going to get drafted. I didn't really want to have to be here anyway. I'm only here for 8 months. I'm not going to get my degree from here. It's not a big deal. So I'm going to go home and chill out. And then when the draft comes up, I'll just get drafted and I'll holler at y'all and knock about all the sunglasses I want. Done. No, that's not how punishments work. When you punish somebody, you make them do all the necessary stuff still. And then you have them not get to eat the cupcakes. That's how they used to do it back in the day in school, right? If you were suspended, you couldn't go on the field trip. They weren't like, okay, since you can't go on the field trip, then you have to stay home. Nah, that's not how that works. Nah, it don't work that way. When you don't go on the field trip because you're not allowed to go on the field trip, you still got to go to school. You still have to go to school and sit in detention and do all this stuff. So if I'm LiAngelo Ball, I'm chilling. Either way, I think that they should probably get a half a game or something. I don't really necessarily think. I don't know what the parents or the adults thought would happen by you having a whole bunch of kids just walk around willy-nilly in China without any money. You know what? I'm not going to blame any parents. That's not what we do here. We don't blame parents. We blame adults. I'm just not 100% sure the judgment that was made in having them walk around, because if they're the type of kids that would steal from like multiple stores in China, I just wonder what goes on when they're not in China. That's just me. I don't know. Can't really tell you. I have to thank you guys that went with my pick on Wednesday. On Wednesday, I told y'all to go ahead and pick the Knicks against the Jazz because Rudy Gobert was hurt. It was Knicks -4. They won by 5. So for those of you that took my pick, congratulations. And for those of you that watched the game of the night that I suggested, which was 76ers versus Lakers, congratulations on that as well. Tonight, I'm going to do you a favor, and I'm going to go ahead just this once, and I'm going to give you forgiveness for not taking my pick. Because if this pick doesn't work out, then we'll be even. So if last week if on Wednesday you didn't take my pick and then you didn't win any money, this week if you take my pick and you lose $500, it's okay because we even it out. We even out, right? Okay, ready? Wait. First, I'm gonna give you the game of the night. That's gonna be the first thing I'm gonna do. After I give you the game of the night, then I'm gonna give you the pick. Are you guys ready? Are you ready? All right. Game of the night is gonna be the New York Knicks against Toronto. Yes. Hold on. Before you get all, well, why do I want to watch Toronto, Ryan? Why do I want to watch Toronto versus the Knicks? Because these are the playoff Knicks, baby. These are the playoff Knicks. The playoff Knicks that are 8-6 against Toronto, that's 9-5. Toronto is the best mediocre team ever. DeMar DeRozan is always going to give you buckets. He has outstanding guard footwork. I want to say Kobe, Carmelo level, but I'm not going to go that far because I don't want you guys to get upset. He's got outstanding footwork. And then, of course, you got the playoff Knicks. So I suggest you guys watch that game. That's going to be the game of the night. I will talk. If there's a bunch of buckets in that game, I'll talk to you about that game on Monday. If there's not a bunch of buckets, then I can't really guarantee what I'm going to tell you about because if it's not popping, it's not. I'm not going to waste your time, basically, is what I'm trying to tell you. Are you ready for this next one? You guys ready? All right. I need you to pick San Antonio plus 1.5. I need you to pick San Antonio plus 1.5. Oklahoma City is playing in San Antonio, and Oklahoma City is a favorite. I need you guys to take San Antonio with the points plus 1.5. Now, I'm not going to explain why, but I'm going to let you know that I might have some inside information. I'm not saying I do. I'm just saying I might, which can literally mean almost anything. I'm hoping you guys have plans this weekend to see the Justice League movie because I'm going to see it. I'm going to come back and talk to you about it on my movie podcast next week. Also, one last thing, bonus for you guys, for the team, for the culture, for my GSMCers. I'm going to need you guys to listen. I'm going to need you guys to watch. Not watch. Just take this pick. I got one NFL pick for you. Take Philly -4.5. Take Philly -4.5. Zeke's suspension starts. And the Cowboys, they're just not very good without him. And the offensive line, isn't very good. So take that, and enjoy it. That's the last one. That is it. So it's been real. Live long and prosper. Thank you for listening to the GSMC Basketball Podcast with your host, Ryan Holloway. Have an amazing weekend.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.